If you are a regular listener to the Sociology show, then you could help with the costs of promoting and hosting the podcast. If you can spare even a small amount, then you can donate on the gofundme.com website by searching for the Sociology show. There is no obligation, of course, and all future downloads will continue to be free. A huge thank you to all those that have already donated. Your kind gesture will help to continue keep the show going and growing. Best wishes and keep enjoying the show.
Hello and welcome to a bonus episode of the Sociology show discussing sociology on the syllabus and whether sociology should be a set subject on the national curriculum. And I'm delighted to welcome Alex Buckley to the show today. Alex, thank you for joining us.
No worries. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. And do you just want to introduce yourself to start with so we know who you are?
Yeah, sure. I'm Alex Buckley. I'm the founder of Sociology on the Syllabus. I've got a background in sociology, and a couple of months ago now I decided that I'd start the campaign going to try and get sociology introduced to the KS3 curriculum and hopefully encourage schools to offer it as a GCSE.
Excellent. And why now, Alex? I know there's a lot going on in the world. Did you think now was the most appropriate time to sort of push that agenda, if you like?
Definitely. I think now more than ever, it's kind of apparent that people need an education in sort of social matters. I think it's always been the case, and perhaps quite a lot of unnecessary kind of conflict could have been avoided had people had a bit more kind of knowledge and education in a lot of sociological matters. But I think now we've kind of got to the stage where it's just undeniable that this really is a crucial thing for people to be studying. Yeah,
and you said Key Stage 3, so you're talking about introducing it from Year 9?
So Year 7, I think it's kind of preferable if students can start studying it in Year 7, and then should they have an interest in taking it further, they can then start studying at GCSE from Year 9 onwards.
Right, okay. So, Alex, if students were going to start sociology as young as Year 7, so what's that, 11, 12 years old, what would you like to see on the curriculum from that age?
I think just kind of a basic introduction to sociology, really. I mean, if you look on the Bite Size website on BBC, obviously they only cater for GCSE, but I think really a kind of version of that could be developed and introduced to students of the ages of sort of 11 to 12. I'm really keen to start working with some of the exam boards to see if they'd be willing to kind of convert their current lessons and lesson plans and things to be more suitable for sort of children around the ages of 11 and 12.
And I suppose the main areas that you'd be concerned with is things to do with gender, ethnicity?
Yeah, so gender, ethnicity, race, class. I think these are all things that children are definitely, by the age of 11, sort of mature enough to start learning about.
Yeah, because one of the things that I was wondering is, would it be argued that a lot of these areas are covered in something like PSHE? Does that do enough in comparison to having sociology?
No, I don't think it does. I think, sort of certain aspects of what we consider sociological study are covered in PSHE, but definitely you need a sort of solid curriculum developed to make sure that we're covering everything. I think, I'm sure it's sort of different now, but when I was at school, we had one PSHE lesson every 2 weeks. And unfortunately, it was treated as a bit of a sort of joke subject, just to sort of fill the hour. And I know that's not the case now, having spoken to other teachers, and they sort of said that they value their PSHE time, but the fact that we haven't got an established sort of sociological curriculum, I think we're really kind of at a loss there.
Yeah, there's often been problems with subjects that are not examined at schools, aren't there? Because students are so concerned about their exams or GCSEs or whatever it may be, that anything that isn't examined just feels like a bit of a time filler.
Definitely, and I've seen on Twitter, I follow a lot of sociology teachers, and there was kind of rumours that going back in September, only the core subjects would be have any time spent on them, which just seems terrible to me.
It does seem strange, as important as core subjects are, the fundamentals of sociology, as you said, are just kind of rules for life, aren't they, that every kind of student needs?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously I studied all of the core subjects at school, and then started sociology at A-level, and I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did my maths and English and all of that, because obviously I use it quite a lot in my day-to-day life. But I have to say, the things that I learned in sociology are sort of lessons that have aided me throughout my social interactions, really kind of key skills that I think it's just terrible that students are missing out on.
Because I wonder as well about the actual structure of the lessons, because something that I think needs to happen, I'm not sure if you agree, is that discussion element, where lessons aren't so structured and following a PowerPoint or whatever it may be, but, just pens down, laptops away, and let's just talk about something, just that free, open discussion where students can express their views.
Absolutely. I put a tweet out the other day to ask, has anybody had any students that haven't enjoyed sociology? It's not something I could imagine myself, but there's got to be people. And one of the replies that I had was that, one of my students regrets taking it because it's too much reading and too much writing. And obviously they're both kind of critical elements of sociology, but I completely agree. Open discussion needs to be made more of a thing. It's definitely the sort of thing that, if students are able to kind of develop their ideas with their fellow students, it's such a healthy skill to have for later in life, to be able to kind of debate respectfully about their views that they have.
One of the fears I've heard, I should say, is that it kind of causes disruption or argument or disagreement, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Yeah, we're not actively asking the students to get aggressive, but, if two students or more disagree on something, that's absolutely fine, isn't it?
Definitely. And, it's kind of encouraged in other subjects. There's always kind of debate teams at school, and that sort of thing is an element of life. And to pretend that it's not is unfortunate and quite ignorant, because you will disagree with people as you go through life, and you need to learn to be able to sort of voice your opinions in a respectful way.
So let's imagine that sociology was on the curriculum years 7, 8 and 9 before making a choice if you want to do a GCSE. What else would you like to see covered on that curriculum in that 3-year period?
I think the sort of key theorists obviously is something that's quite important, but more than that, I think the critical thinking element of it. I mean, I know critical thinking is offered sometimes as an A-level in schools, but I think you kind of see elements of it in history lessons, being able to analyse sources and kind of debate whether or not they're valid or reliable. I think being able to think critically about kind of institutions is really important. And I think sociology in years 7, 8 and 9 could possibly kind of allude to the beginnings of that.
I do actually think that is a bit of an issue or a problem in the English curriculum anyway, the fact that students kind of learn to pass exams. I constantly have an issue with my students that if I ask them to give me 10 facts about functionalism, they can do it. And then I say, and now criticise it.
Yeah.
Okay. The first thing they do is start picking up their phone and searching for criticisms of functionalism rather than thinking of themselves. But I think the earlier that you can start critical analysis, the better the skill becomes.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah. It is a skill that you can learn. And I think, starting off when you're younger is definitely a good thing. And it can sort of serve you well in all of the different subjects too.
Have you thought as well about making the GCSE compulsory as well, or are you just thinking at the early ages of school?
I think it should be compulsory on the curriculum years 7 through 9, and I think schools should have to offer it. I wasn't one of the lucky ones that could have studied it at GCSE at school, but I think it definitely should. Obviously resources is kind of the massive issue here. Yeah. I think room needs to be made so that schools can offer it to students at GCSE.
Yeah, that's always been a problem, actually. The number of people that I speak to, when I ask them, when did you first come into sociology? They said, well, I didn't have the option at my school anyway. One of the other fears, I guess, is that there's still this perception out there, it's been there since about the 1970s, right? That sociology is a soft subject, or it doesn't have quite the status of other humanities subjects. Have you encountered that at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. I studied sociology at undergrad and through my master's and at A-level as well. And I had, multiple comments, and I'm sure I'm not alone in this, oh, you've taken sociology because, you don't know what else to do, or you're kind of lazy and you can't be bothered, which you just have to laugh off, because I know for me that's certainly not the case. And my fellow students, all incredibly hard workers, really sort of intelligent people, critical thinkers. And I think it's a shame that sociology has been cast in this light. But again, this is kind of one of the main aims of the campaign, to sort of change the dialogue around sociology. I think one of the most important things, hopefully, to come out of this, if we're successful, is to kind of introduce a new set of thinkers to perhaps social policy. I think science, the quote unquote hard sciences, have been given this pedestal for so many years, so many decades. But actually, the skills that people are using to develop social policy and make really important decisions are ones that are quite firmly rooted in social science.
Yeah, it's a constant problem. I still face it now. Some parents are worried about their son or daughter taking sociology, because there's still that perception that it is a weaker or softer subject, or it doesn't have that status. I always point them in the direction that you can study sociology at the University of Cambridge, and then they might change their mind a little bit. So, Alex, tell us how your campaign's getting underway and what you're doing to try and gather momentum.
Yeah, so the first thing was obviously to create a Twitter presence, which is kind of slowly picking up. I'm in talks with a couple of different institutions, charities, about collaborating. But really, what I'm hoping to do here is get the message out and ask people if they want to collaborate on this sort of thing, particularly teachers. You're the kind of key people in this. So if people want to write blogs for us, yeah.
And tell us what's your Twitter handle so people can add you?
Yeah, so we're Soc on Syllabus.
Great. And you've got a website as well? We've
got a website, yeah. So that's sociologyonsyllabus.org. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. So yeah, give us a follow.
Great. And if we try and build the momentum and get the message out there, what actually needs to happen to get something on a curriculum? I have no idea how it works. How do you get something on a national curriculum?
So what you need is a meeting with the education secretary, who is probably quite busy at the moment. But so we're I think the best way that we can get into it is through the petitions. So we're waiting for our petition to be approved. This is the sort of thing that you need 100,000 signatures for, so it's really crucial that we get this out there. On the website you can sign up to a mailing list, so when the petition is approved I can send it out to people. Obviously I'll also be posting it on Twitter. You need some face-to-face time with the education secretary basically, and you need to provide them with a very well thought out document about how sociology will work on the syllabus, and crucially how it won't cost very much money.
Yes, yeah. Great. Let's get the message out there, Alex. So if everyone can add you on Twitter and get signed on the petition, let's get the message out there. Keep on retweeting. The more people we can get on board, the better. Absolutely. Great. Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think that's everything. Yeah, thanks for your time today. And I really appreciate you helping us out here.
Brilliant. Let's get the message out there. Thank you for today, Alex.
Thanks, Matthew.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to the podcast. If you would like to contact the show or be interviewed, then please email the sociologyshowpodcast@gmail.com.